welcome to another episode of Synergy Bonus. Spoonie, what are we drinking?
Oh, we are drinking something terrible, I'm sure. Actually, we are
good enough for
drinking
the Punisher.
Wild Turkey,
Well, he's punishing himself, I'm sure.
American Honey.
A little post-Thanksgiving bird.
I've been smelling it here for a little bit, debating if I want to drink it. I mean,
That smells citrusy.
it's got a smell to it, that's for sure.
I mean, like, I can smell the alcohol, but there's a citrusy overlay.
I'm not really getting a lot of the honey smell.
No, not honey. It's more lemony, kind of. Lemony sniff it. Oh,
Smells like
that was
whiskey
an
to me.
unfortunate event.
No. Well, you know what?
This makes it wild.
Cheers.
Skull.
Skull.
Actually, not that bad.
Mm.
I didn't make a whiskey face.
That is smooth as hell.
Yeah, I prefer this over normal turkey, honestly.
That's a little too...
It's candy. It's candy.
It's too sweet and sugary for me. That's probably why it's such a tiny bottle. But
Yeah.
yeah, no.
I
Snake. Go answer the call.
Yeah, no, but 33.5% alcohol by volume, 71 proof. So be careful with your candy there.
Yeah. Yeah. You know what this kind of reminds me of? Just a little bit like the Irish Mist.
Lemon drops.
If you guys remember the Irish, I don't know if you do.
I
do.
remember and was fond of the Irish Mist.
Just slightly.
Very slightly, no. Yeah, like a cheaper poor man's Irish Mist.
Okay, now I taste the whiskey.
Lawrenceburg, Kentucky, USA.
It is a little too sweet for me.
Yeah,
I might
like
have to.
I
Honestly, I hate to say it. Ice cubes. Yeah, I mean you don't put ice cubes in whiskey, but that might benefit this.
Bloody eye tie.
You go run around the house 3 times and spit now. And it's just none of that.
I don't know. Just it would dilute that sweetness down. I think
Yeah,
that's the only thing.
This is... Alright, it's not something I could just sit and drink like anything else we tried.
Yeah.
It's good, I'd say.
It's better than regular
I
turkey.
couldn't bring the bottle of apple pie moonshine.
That is also candy.
No, you're
No,
forgetting.
you're
That
thinking
was when we were watching Netflix and we had to take shots.
I don't know. Was that the one that Ryan brought over the one time?
No. This was one that I got a gift.
No.
I still have that bottle.
Next time, he'll bring that and we'll remind Spoonie what he's forgetting.
Fair enough. All right. So what are we talking about tonight aside from wild turkey?
Well...
Undomesticated fowls.
There are fowls in this game. Anthropomorphic.
Oh, God. So anyhow, as he's trying to break me over here, we're talking about Shovel Knight tonight.
Shovel Knight is...
Strike Earth!
Strike the Earth, yeah.
We're actually going to break this into a few different parts. This particular episode, we're going to be talking about Shovel Knight, the Shovel of Hope, which it has just gotten that
Moniker.
Subtitle.
Thank you. With the release of the
Treasury Edition.
Treasure Trove.
Which is fun that they've already got a treasure trove out, and the game's only been around since 2014.
Has it been that long already?
Oh, yeah. Original release date was June 26, 2014.
They've been releasing a sub-game about every year.
Yeah, and it's
On
a free DLC sub-game.
It was on Steam, the 3DS, and the Wii U originally.
Yep.
And since then, it's on
PS4,
everything.
everything.
Yep. It's gone to... Did it go to the 360?
Not the 360, but it's on the Xbox One, it's on the PS4, it's on the PS3,
It's on the Wii... no, not the Wii. The Switch. It was initially came out on the Wii U.
PSP.
Did it go to... No, not PSP. Vita.
Vita.
Yeah,
Vita's
PSP is
before.
way too... It might actually be on there. I'd have to load my PSP up. to check.
It did come with some...
If you've got a system or a console,
you can probably play
so
this
it'll
game.
play on my Atari?
Yes.
yes.
What about the Intellivision?
If you got this on like the Microsoft family of systems, we'll say, you get the addition of Battletoads in it, and that makes me sad. I wish I had it. If you got it on the PS4, you get to deal with Kratos, and I could care less about Kratos and whatnot. I have it. I have it on the Wii U and the Switch, and what do I get for my troubles? 2-player. That's what I get. 2-player.
I mean, I'm not going to object to that.
I'm not going to object to it, but I bet you 2-player has been since implemented into the other versions.
Beats the shit out of Kratos. I mean.
Yeah. It would just be nice to see a special stage dedicated.
Next time, why we hate God of War. Sorry, Erda.
Never actually played them, so I just don't care.
We'll talk a little bit about it at some point. Like
A
not,
slightly more polished, very Greek version of Castlevania Lords of Shadow.
but we're talking about Shovel Knight.
But tonight we're talking about Shovel Knight.
Trev, you want to break down the story of Shovel Knight before we get into the?
Oh man, you're gonna make me do a frame by frame.
Kind of.
Okay. So
Shout out to the frames. Congratulations.
congratulations, we have our second production baby. Welcome to the team, Team Synergy. Bram, was it Bram Roberts?
Bram.
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 Like
Bram.
Stoker.
We're sorry for future reference, Bram.
We'll sing you a lullaby.
One day you will know that a man is a miserable pile of secrets.
But enough talk. How about you? Anyways, go ahead, Trev.
Have at you. This is a retro game, except it's not. Because it's brand new, but it's done in a
Retro style.
It is a love letter to retro games.
Yeah.
In the retro style.
It's an 8-bit game with 16-bit elements.
They basically made it with the technology, for the most part, that was available at the time of the NES.
Well, aside from like some of the scrolling in the foreground and background.
Yeah, but they did a good
Scripting events and
they
stuff
did a
like that.
good chunk of it with the technology at the time, and it works well. But again, let's talk about the story, and then we can get a little bit more to the.
You play as this little blue armored guy, which in true retro gaming fashion, you're the little hero in blue with a red sidekick. You got Mega Man, you got Sonic, Rocket Knight.
Rocket Knight doesn't have a sidekick.
No, but he's a little guy in blue.
Yeah. The game opens with a little backstory that the land was untamed, full of adventures, and none other than Shovel Knight and his partner Shield Knight.
The aforementioned red sidekick.
They traveled together and eventually ended up at the Tower of Fate when a disaster befell. Shovel Knight was left by himself, and Shield Knight
disappeared. So he's searching for Shield Knight while trying to counteract the evil machinations of the wicked Enchantress and her Order of No Quarter.
But before the Enchantress makes her appearance in the Order of No Quarter, Shovel Knight basically lived a life of solitude, but the Tower of Fate was calling to him. They make it sound so epic, and I love that.
Yeah.
And I love Shovel Knight as a character. He's like, well met and whatnot. And they're like, no, we're going to fight you.
Definitely got that over the top.
I am the hero.
He hams it up, and it's delicious.
Arthurian, Mabignon, Legends of Charlemagne kind of, Bullfinch's mythology feel to it. Everything is larger than life and over the top, and it's delightful. It's bright, it's colorful, it's just
That's wonderful.
a pleasure to look at. So you go on and you take the introductory tutorial stage, which I believe they refer to as the plains, and this teaches you the game. And Shovel Knight is like this weird combination of Mega Man and Scrooge McDuck.
Mega Man, Scrooge McDuck, some little slight elements of Castlevania.
Touch.
Like I said, it's a love letter to the 8-bit glory days.
Every 2D side-scrolling 8-bit platforming adventure game you've ever played rolled into one big ball of awesome.
And it works very well. The shovel mechanics and everything. So
once you've cleared the plains, dug up all of the treasure and such.
Yep.
Taken out the various bubble dragons.
Yeah, the first enemy you encounter there I shouldn't say enemy, but first boss is the Black Knight, and you can tell that there's some sort of history between them.
Immediately dumping in the face against yourself.
I have a shovel, and this is what I do.
Yep. Your rival, whatever you want to call him, it's just your sprite with a different color palette and
different
all the same
helmet
moves. Slightly different helmet.
Mm-hmm.
But then it opens up to a world map, which is very reminiscent of
Mario 3. Exactly like
pick
Mario
the
3.
various tracks to go to different worlds, and then you clear each stage in a very Mega Man-y fashion.
Yep. Unlike Mega Man, you don't get the powers of the Order of No Quarter that you defeat.
No, but in every stage there's a merchant who sells you power-ups that
are beneficial, and
beneficial
usually
and
for
can
the
be.
stage.
Yeah.
For the stage in particular.
Mm-hmm.
Some
of them are a little more like transporty kind of, here's some digging claws that let you go through dirt walls, but some of them are like, here's a boomerang, throw this.
Yep, or, hey, this will let you do an air dash. What's that? You got a lot of holes to go over. That air dash will come in handy. connected to this world map are 2 towns. A town, and like certain collectibles can up your magic and up your life, and you go to the town there and redeem them. You all right?
Turkey.
It's a little much, isn't it?
It's all that sugar. Like
This
doesn't feel so much like bourbon made with honey as it feels like somebody had a big barrel
a
of
little bit
bourbon
of honey and it kind of fermented.
and just dumped raw honey directly into the bourbon.
In each area is just it has a theme and it's very atmospheric and the music fits perfectly there. The first 2 stages that you get aside from the intro stage are Pridemore Keep and the Lich Yard, and bosses are Spectre Knight and King Knight. And I love that everyone is a knight in this game, except for the.
I'm hoping with either the 4th game that's coming out or the final actual sequel.
Basically,
that
Shovel
comes out.
Knight 2.
Shovel Knight. Well, there's also King Knight's Adventure.
Yes,
whatever
that's
gonna
called
be.
King of Cards.
King of Cards. That they throw us for a loop and have a Chevalier. Or a Bogatar.
Or a Hussar.
Yeah.
Huskarl.
Huskarl, yeah.
Knecht.
Mm-hmm. You gonna keep going there?
Well, technically it would be a Ritter, and Knecht was something completely different.
Do you need to go play CK for a while?
He might.
No, I don't need to spend my afternoon assassinating nephews.
I mean, you're lying to yourself if you haven't thought that.
That game just makes you sit there and go, I'm going to be a good ruler. No,
You know what?
I'm doing? I'm
my-
assassinating children.
I should kill my son because that will make this beneficial.
Hey, I don't like my kid that's going to inherit. I like my kid that's second in line to inherit. I'm going to assassinate my kid.
But Shovel Knight has nothing to do with Crusader Kings, except there's no assassinating.
That was a beautiful tangent and probably a future video. But anyhow,
There's no vaulting for days.
Theocracia.
And I mean, Shovel Knight gets all these like weird allies, like the.
Spoony Paladin.
The Truple
I
King.
wish the Spoony Paladin was in Shovel Knight.
He would fit
Just
the
saying, he
theme
would fit
very
the
well.
theme very well.
But
What is the goat? The goat that just eats everything that you give it. I want
didn't catch names.
The
I know.
gastronomist.
Yeah, I think that's what it is.
Mona is the only name I caught.
The Tropical King.
Oh,
The Tropical King.
The king of fish and fruit. Long may his stem grow.
This, I mean,
There was some drugs involved.
the guys over at Yacht Club, they're like, let's take this trout and make it part apple.
And this is the thing that gives you your red healing potion. Spits it into your glass once you find
And
it.
it does a dance.
It does a dance, the Tropical dance. And he's got followers, and it's great.
It's marvelous. It's something.
It's something. What are some of the other knights, Trav?
Plague Knight, Spectre Knight,
Spectre Knight,
Frost
you
Knight,
mentioned
Mole
Polar
Knight,
Knight. Polar Knight.
Polar Knight,
Mole Knight.
Tinker Knight.
Tinker Knight and
Propeller Knight.
Treasure Knight and
Treasure
Propeller Knight. Yep.
Mole Knight was interesting because it would be like there's the obligatory fire stage, but they decided to merge it with the obligatory underground stage.
Mhm.
So you've got like lava tubes and stuff that you're traversing.
And I gotta say, like, all these stages are just they're so unique. Like King Knight's stage it's a castle. You're storming a castle.
Yep.
The Lich Yard, you're going through a cemetery and all this stuff.
All these undead are attacking.
Plague
you.
Knight, you're going through basically an
His Alchemist
lab.
Workshop.
The Iron Whale.
The Iron Whale for Treasure Knight. You're a submarine.
You're storming a submarine, but first you have to get on the submarine.
Yep.
Propeller Knight's
Propeller Knight's an airship.
Flying Armada. Yep.
The one that's unique is Polar Knight's stage because
Stranded ship. Yeah.
it's a stranded Viking ship because Polar Knight is
Well,
very much a Viking with a snow shovel.
And for all that they're giving King Knight his own backstory to talk about the House of Cards and all that. Polar Knight is the one I really want.
Right.
Like,
Although
I want to play as Polar Knight. I want his story.
I want something for the Black Knight, just to explain their rivalry.
Right. Although I gotta say, even though
That's part of what's interesting about this as opposed to other more traditional 2D platformers. The lore, if you haven't picked up on it yet, is huge and expansive, and there's a whole bunch of stuff going on that we've only scratched the surface of.
now as of recording this, the King of Cards expansion is not out, and you play King Knight in it. In the original Shovel Knight and actually the other DLCs, the king has been usurped by King Knight, and he's like, I need Pridemoor Keep back, I need all this stuff, whatnot. I saw in a trailer, you fight the king. He's like in a battle armor. It's kind of neat looking. I'm excited for it.
Right up there with Tinker Knight with his big mech.
Yes. Yeah. Tinker Knight's a very unique character. He
reminds me of something.
He is a midget knight who makes very big things and explosions. Well, no, that's more Plague Knight. The explosions.
Explosions is handy.
The bigger the explosion, the
Hey,
better
I have
the
my little
alchemist.
platform, and here's spikes.
Tinker Knight is very much clockwork.
Yeah,
it is like the clockwork
It's the clock
stage
fucking tower of
from Castlevania.
Yeah.
And then you finally get to the Tower of Fate when you
Which
see...
in and of itself is 3 more stages.
Yep.
And also the Mega Man style, go and fight all the bosses again.
Which that is awesome. Before we get to that, you encounter the Black Knight here again. And, he is all about defending the Enchantress.
Yep.
She, grants him new powers, and it's crazy. It's kind of a cool fight. But as Greg was saying, the fight him Mega Man style, you basically crash their dinner party. Like, all the knights are just sitting there, and you fight them one by one. And each time you fight them, they throw out a platter of food for you because it's the next course of the meal. So that's your little recharge.
Well, that, and there's this weird little thing about them being honorable because they're knights and so on.
Mm-hmm. Although, some of the achievements in this game is very unique too. Like, at the end of each stage, Shovel Knight usually reminisces about Shield Knight. At the campfire, he'll have a dream, you save her and whatnot. When that's done, you can shovel the campfire, and it's like, only you can prevent forest fires. But also, when you defeat the entire Order of No Quarter at that last thing, they're all hanging onto the Tower of Fate. You can just leave them be, or you can lift them up. There's an achievement for both, I believe.
Yep.
And then there's the Enchantress herself.
Which is almost a bullet hell.
Let's, okay, we're gonna actually kind of throw a spoiler up here. I mean, it's kind of...
Spoiler warning, it's still a newish game.
I mean, it's kind of...
Turn us off right now, go play the game, then come back.
You kind of pick up on it that, okay, you fight the Enchantress. It's Shield Knight. Shield Knight is the Enchantress. You fight her first form, and she breaks the spell, but the Enchantress is still an entity. Mm-hmm. And then you get this...
Has a body.
You get this very unique fight where you're teamed up with Shield Knight and you have to use her abilities. It's like, surprise, new element to the game, final fight, go.
And it's beautifully coordinated and choreographed, and you really get the sense that this is how the game was meant to be. This is how Shovel Knight is supposed to function. That he's genuinely been functioning at half capacity, half power the whole time because he doesn't have Shield
Knight. And you can see that they are a team, and it works. And the whole fight is beautifully done, and the game wraps up, and it's great. It left me wanting more, and Yacht Club's like, guess what?
Here's more.
You're getting more. And it's like, thank you, Yacht Club. And it's like, guess what? You're getting more. Thank you, Yacht Club. And guess what? One more time, you're getting more. So... Thank you, Yacht Club, for
giant thank you
making this wonderful game. It was a Kickstarter. I don't know if we mentioned that. Mm-hmm. It was a Kickstarter, and I proudly backed that. Mm-hmm. I would have backed it twice if I could have, but I paid for Treasure Trove on the Switch because I got it on the Wii, so I have backed it twice. Actually, they raised the price, which is fine. It's fine because they added a lot more content between the original and that.
That and they're a business and they're raising funds to do the next game in the series.
Yep. And they've put their names on some stuff. Azure Striker Gunvolt.
Azure Striker Gunvolt. They were involved in that. Something else we'll come back to eventually.
But
we've mentioned it several times. We're going to get to it. I promise.
The game that Mighty Number 9 should have been.
Yes.
Another thing, the again, love letter to 8-bit, this game controls really tight, really well.
All the mechanics are super
like Trav said, some of the mechanics are like DuckTales. You have the pogo jump with the shovel. You've got charge attacks like Mega Man. It works.
It's
It
just
works
every
so well.
kid's little fantasy. At some point in time in your life, everybody's picked up a shovel and twirled it around like a bow staff or something. It's like,
And then whacked themselves.
yeah,
And just like the hit detection, the damage, everything's right. And
it's all on point. It's
and when you beat the
fantastic.
game, they give you New Game Plus. And it's basically, hey, play through it again hard mode. There's no healing items. You take a little bit more damage. But other than that, most
You
of
have
it's
all your abilities.
most of it's the same. And like I've played through it, and it's been such an enjoyable experience. It's fun to go back through. I never felt like this game. Like the first time you play it, there are some areas where it's like, this is a pain in the ass. It's difficult and whatnot, but it is never unfair. It gives you the teachable moments. It's one of those games that has teachable moments. I'm thinking in the is it the exploitative? It's the one with the books where you hit the book and the platforms appear.
That's the King Knight stage.
King Knight stage. So you hit a book,
Grab more keys.
platforms appear. You get this in a safe environment, and then comes the gaping holes, and it's just a race against time.
Of course, if you've ever done disappearing black puzzles in a Mega Man game, you already know how this works.
Yep. There are just some areas where it's very tricky, but you either have an ability or that perfect timing to get through it, and it's never cheap.
It's no BS deaths.
Yep. If you got hit by it or whatnot, it is your fault 100%. You were antsy, you were this, but it's not cheap. And there are some instances
Not
where
artificial difficulty.
where it seems like it could be cheap. I'm thinking about this one stage with a ladder and the fireballs.
Yeah.
What you can catch yourself. You can catch yourself and not die.
It's not blindly falling onto spikes that you have to dash at the last second, Mighty Number 9.
Mm-hmm. But
Yacht Club Games doing everything that Capcom used to do better.
exactly. I will continue to support Yacht Club. They made a wonderful product.
Absolutely.
They've expanded upon it. Honestly, I don't know what any of the functionality of any of the amiibos that are coming out for it. I have the Shovel Knight amiibo, which unlocked 2-player on the Wii U.
And on the 3DS, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, but I think with the Switch, it offers body swap mode, which is weird. But like they've got King Knight, Spectre Knight, and Plague Knight coming out as one, and I don't care what they do. They're collectibles for Shovel Knight. Sure, I'll throw my money at you.
DLC
Completionist bonus.
figurine form.
They're collectible DLC, and I'm okay with collectible DLC.
That's a different topic.
It is a
time.
different topic. I have a love.
So yeah, any last thoughts, gentlemen?
Nope.
I don't have any last.
Oh, the Wandering Warriors, the random warriors.
Oh,
There we go.
that's a good thing. Yeah, like
shout out to the Belmonts, and I guess is he supposed to be Ninja Gaiden or Mystic Ninja?
he's definitely ninja. You have this giant knight who has a whip, and it's
Baz! I will be known as Baz Knight!
Get out of my town.
he is totally a Belmont wannabe. And then there's the ninja. Oh, there's a third one, the Defender guy.
Oh, yeah,
he
yeah.
was the one that inhabited the Lich Yard.
Yep.
He's got the spike helmet, and he's like very much
The guy that for Spectre Knight's game, you're like, where the fuck did this guy come from?
Yeah,
Yep.
he was the other. Yep.
Yep. And those kind of appear like the Hammer Brothers in Mario 3.
Very similar.
So it was a labor of love, and it paid off. I want to see more games like this.
Absolutely.
Not necessarily even retro like this, but it worked. It worked well.
Worked very well for what they were doing.
I feel like a lot of like current games now don't put a lot of emotion and thought into it, and the ones that
You mean dialogue and pretty graphics don't make a good game?
just
Hello, Commander.
But I just see so many games now they just slap together just a quick cash grab. There's no real love put into it. And Shovel Knight's one of those games that has the love. It's there. The newest game that I played that had that love was Mario Odyssey. Honestly, like Nintendo's like, we know people like Mario. Let's make the best damn Mario we can, and they did.
Let's also make it the weirdest Mario we
And
possibly can.
And that's okay.
Which is already a
It's
challenge
Mario.
given how weird Mario is to begin
Yes,
with.
let's possess humans. I don't know. I have no more final thoughts than that.
Gotta make sure you knock that kid's ring away from him. in the town.
Oh!
I'm a horrible human being. We know this.
There's this kid. He's pushing this hoop around, and there's an achievement to hooping a stick. That's an old.
Really old.
Ability to hooping a stick. But no, you can springboard off it. If you do that, like with the one armor, you can charge your shovel up, and if you hit it, it just goes flying. The kid just stares off in the distance. Doesn't turn around or anything. He's just like, my ring is gone. Just the little interactivity with the townspeople and whatnot.
Steal the kid's hoop.
It's great.
Putting the hamster in the microwave. Taking a swing at the skateboarding. You are terrible people.
Yeah.
I'm very open about this fact. I'm a monster.
All right.
I'm a principled monster, but a monster.
On that note,
Have a good night.
good night and good gaming.